and we are live. So welcome everyone to Lake Effects podcast, the exclusive MISU podcast. I am Lylak, and I am joined by
fiNESS.
and our special guest for this week. Our first ever special guest is Bry. Welcome, Bry, to the podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me tonight, guys.
You're welcome, man. We're excited to have you. Unfortunately, we're excited to have you. fiNESS, how you doing today, man?
I've been solid. I've been in like my fitness arc, you know. So these like I woke up before noon and went for a run like 3 of these last 4 days. So it's been like I've been in very high spirits. It's the whole thing where it's like, oh, who knew that waking up early and going for runs and having a consistent sleep schedule actually does help. You know what I mean? And like make you feel good. So I've been pretty great actually.
That's amazing to hear. And then you actually had your birthday this week, right, fiNESS?
I did, yeah. The 18th, I turned 21.
Nice,
So.
that's awesome.
Oh, I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
happy birthday,
so I
fiNESS.
got my first legal alcohol purchases. I had some in Canada, but I never got the chance to buy any because people kept being nice and buying shit for me. So I went out and did it myself for the first time.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, I remember my first time I got bar hopped a few times.
Oh yeah. My first 2 times so far, I haven't been carded. So I'm like, it's like, what's the point of being 21 if they're not going to check anyways?
Yeah, funnily enough, my birthday is actually tomorrow. So we have
Oh, really?
both our birthdays in like 4 days. So
Let's go, dude.
yeah,
Nice.
Birthday week.
it's big. All right. Unfortunately, as you guys can see, we have a couple of missing spaces here. ArcD is in Peru this weekend. He's going to Peru's first ever C tier, so we're gonna wish him luck on that and hope that he does well on his home trip back home. And then Spectre is unfortunately sick, and he couldn't join the podcast this week either. So it's just going to be me and fiNESS with the special guest Bry this week, and we're going to go over a bunch of North Michigan related topics as well as some Michigan tournaments, and then some meta stuff at the end of the podcast. Starting off with North Strongest 3 recap. I don't know if you guys caught. Well, fiNESS, I don't know if you caught this over the weekend, but because Brian and I were both there. But Frostbite ended up winning that event. And not a dominant fashion. He dropped a few games along the way, but I think all of us predicted in the podcast last week that Frostbite would win.
Yeah, if we didn't say directly that we thought he was going to win, we at least like lended credence to the fact that he probably / has a really good shot at winning. I don't know who it was, but someone mentioned like seeing him have a really dominant performance at a local the other day. So definitely not super surprised to see him take that W.
Yeah, no, Frostbite is a really consistent player. Like, the way he plays is just really methodical, and it's really hard to kind of get in on how he wants to approach. Like, he very much, what he wants to do, he's going to get it, and he very much leans into your play style and abuses, like, very specific habits, and it's very frustrating to deal with.
Yeah.
And, like, I think the only person that challenged him consistently was Butterkicks, and oh my gosh, Butterkicks going for the FD Kazuya cheese. I'm giving her crap right now on this podcast for that. Freaking in grand finals trying that. Oh my god.
What happened? Butterkick switched to Kazuya.
I didn't even know she played Kazuya.
Yes.
That's amazing. I love that. Just to give it a go.
It was really, oh my gosh, it was great. But yeah, no, he was really consistent the whole time. Like, one of the cool things is that he went all Mario in pools. So he didn't even pull out the Roy for pools, and I think he did it in almost a clean sweep. I think only Les was able to take a game off him in pools.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because that was like not a super weak pool. You know, there were other strong players there, so that's impressive.
I think Frostbite was the 1 seed, so I think he had the overall weakest pool relative to the other 3, but still very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, huge congrats to Frostbite on the W. I like seeing Frostbite win a lot. I think he's one of the more exciting players to watch in Michigan. Because Michigan has a lot of campers. So. But yeah, congrats to Frostbite on the W. Hopefully we see him pretty soon at like Get Cooked or Diamond Dust, whatever event he goes to next.
That'd be good to see. I always like seeing Frostbite come out because he's like such a solid threat to like take a set off of a really solid player. So seeing him at Diamond Dust specifically would be really exciting.
I'm sure he's going. I feel like most of Michigan's good people are going to that tournament.
Yeah. You kind of gotta assume that people are going to Diamond Dust.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't show up there. Like, it's going to be a big one. Like, a lot of Michigan's going to be there. A lot of out-of-state talent. There's a lot of improvement to be had there. So,
Yeah, they've already confirmed DeBuzz and I think one other strong player who I'm recalling.
They confirmed Shiny Mark, and then they confirmed the best Isabel in the States, whose tag I forgot.
Twitchy, I was just about to make that comment right now that they were just announced.
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
Right.
Damn, what an interesting pull. I don't know if I've ever even heard of Twitchy. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't even know where they're
from.
They
had a really good run.
I just saw them pop off at Overdrive over the weekend. I think they got second or third, so.
That's fun.
But yeah, anyway, speaking of exciting tournament runs, Bri, not only did you TO the tournament that was North Strongest 3, but you also got a top 8 run in there too. So did you want to go for like your run and like how it was TOing the tournament and any obstacles or any of the challenges that came along the way, or just how fun it was to TO and your run and all that, or like bouncing all that stuff? Anything you want to talk about, really? So.
Damn, y'all played each other. That's tragic. I just realized that. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. That was tragic. I wasn't expecting to run into Lylak there. Lylak had a pretty good run, and honestly, if you didn't actually get upset by Ember, I don't think we would have met where we did.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I think that was one of the.
I'll talk about my Ember set in a minute, and when we talk about my run later in a second. But
but overall, the event it went really well. There was some hiccups, like we were trying to get a mainstream going, and just for whatever reason, it just did not want to work at all. So we ended up having to abandon that. And then Springiel, luckily, just happened to have his stuff on him, and he was like, "Hey, I could set up a side stream," and that just happened to become the mainstream, luckily. So we were saved by his setup. And then outside of that, running round robin pools with this many people. Literally, it is a chaos pool. Like, it is so difficult to keep track of all that.
It was cool though. I've never been to a tournament where like it was just like groups of 8 and then just full round robin into top 16. Like it's usually just like you are running round robin in much smaller pools, or it's just typically double elimination. So.
Were you guys able to do it in a timely manner? That sounds really tough to do. That's a lot of smash.
Trust me, it was. The goal was to be done between 8 and 10 and be completely out of the venue and cleaned up by 10. And we were able to do that, actually. We did get behind by pacing compared to what I wanted by like 45 minutes. But, 45 minutes is not that bad. And a good portion of that was actually because we were trying to get that mainstream to work. So I was waiting, trying, hoping that would actually, revive like Frankenstein's monster for us. Like, it just did not want to go.
As far as like Smash tournaments running late goes, 45 minutes is not that bad.
Yeah.
I definitely attended events that went way later than 45
As someone who's TO'd events, I can definitely say that I started events not on time and still able to finish on time. So.
Oh yeah.
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish with the TO.
That's always one of my main goals is I want to run things timely because it helps get people back, especially with Northern Michigan. Like, it's already a trek to get people up here to Traverse City. So, like, I feel like trying to keep people longer is just, that would also hurt a little bit. So I try to make things as timely as possible. So I reach out, I DM people to make sure that I get setups. I worked with NMC to make sure we had all the equipment we needed. I have 8 monitors myself that I brought to the event so people could just bring Switch setups. Like, they didn't need to have monitors. Unfortunately, a couple of them I wasn't able to get to work, but 6 of them ended up working for us. So that allowed for 6 players that brought only Switches to have full setups. So, and that helped with running the round robins efficiently, which is what I wanted to mention. One of the main reasons why I ran the round robins the way I did with as many people in the pools is that I really want to try to focus my events towards players. And I don't mean this rudely. This is statistically, but I know at most events, a lot of the players that go 0-2 to 2-2 just don't get that much out of some events. Not all events, but some events, especially regionals. And it's not regionals' fault. It's just hard to get like the setups needed and being able to, host something like that. And having the ability, if I see it, to be able to lean towards those players, give them more of their money's worth, especially for the main bracket, like I did with the round robins, that's my main goal, because I want to see those players improve, get the games that they need to be able to learn, and face players that they wouldn't normally get to face in bracket.
Yeah, that's
So, and
Go ahead,
I have a
Seamus.
lot of appreciation for kind of messing with like bracketology a little bit and playing with different tournament formats, because the traditional like standard format is obviously like going to be the standard for a very long time. I don't ever see anything like totally usurping that as the standard, but I think messing around with it does, I think, as you said, most importantly, give the average attendee to a tournament a much better chance to go out there and have a good time. My like example that comes to my head right away is Invincible. I don't know if you guys heard about the way that tournament was formatted. It was a really unique like tier system. I don't even remember what it's called, but it led to like some really exciting sets between like bona fide O2ers that wound up being on stream because of the way the bracket was formatted. And I think that type of thing is super fun and necessary in the scene right now.
Was it waterfall pools like what Cage just did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay. Now, waterfall pools is very
the one
interesting. It just takes so long to do. It's just like the big
Yeah.
issue of it.
Yeah, they had the luxury of it being a 2-day event,
Yeah.
which helps a lot.
Now, if you can afford to do round robin pools, I think as like the lower level players, we usually appreciate it a lot more. I find that the players who make it further in the bracket don't like playing all those extra sets. Like a lot of the good players I talk to are just like, well, I don't like playing the early rounds like that much, and they just kind of focus on the later part of the bracket, which makes sense. But I think their interest there is outgained by the the lower level players' interests, which because those players make up more of the attendees. So.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the top players not having much care for the earlier rounds is how you get things like, what did you say? Tedfest played Mario the entirety of pools.
Frostbite's Mario is not bad, actually. That Mario is actually.
I'm just saying it's
well.
like he's trying to keep his mindset on the Roy fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, for sure. I get you.
And then, aside from being on the tournament, Bri, you also had a pretty good top 8 run. I think you got 5th. Do you want to go over your run a little bit? If anybody gives you challenges or anything like that.
Oh yeah, let me pull up the Smashes app real quick just so I can have a quick visual. But yeah, no. Overall, I was really satisfied with it. My round robin pools, the only person I dropped to was So Good Pop, and I don't think I dropped a game to anyone in my pools.
Nice.
Nope, I didn't. I was able to go through with only dropping games to So Good Pop. And So Good Pop, I had the ability to be able to take it. Just, I got better played in the end, which happens. But I was able to 3-stock him the second game, and that felt nice. I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome. Yeah,
like that was really satisfying.
Being able to have a strong game against like such a good opponent is like a great feeling. Even if you lose the set, pretty solid.
But yeah, no. And then my top 16 was pretty expected. I played a lot of these players. I played Ross multiple times, and I'm used to Falco because of playing Butterkicks a decent amount now. So that was a pretty easy matchup for me. And then Butterkicks, Ice Climbers, it's rough. Sometimes you just win, get in there with Yoshi. Sometimes you get spiked 3 times in a row. So I got blended pretty hard by her. And then like you mentioned, I ran into Lylak, and I have a lot of experience with ZSS. Like I've just played so many players, especially Shu, when I was over in Colorado for that period of time back in 2020, 2022. So I have a decent amount of experience there. And then this will kind of lead into one of our next points. I got to play Aquatic in Losers Top 8. And Aquatic, even though it was 3-0, definitely a definition of a close 3-0. Like, I haven't been scared by a Falcon like his in a little bit. Like, I think since I played Gold Hat Cat down in at TriPoint 200, I think that's the last Falcon that really, like, pushed me to an extent where... Yeah, Aquatic was just calling me out on some of my movements, some of my options, and it's incredible to see the improvement that he's had since I last played him.
A solid Captain Falcon breeds a different type of fear. Like it's totally different.
Aquatic was a player I was vaguely familiar with going to that tournament, but seeing him top 8 was one of the surprises of the tournament for sure. I haven't really seen him play, so I can't say like how good he is or not, but. it is cool to see him get in the top 8.
He actually made some surprising upsets that kind of surprised me. There's two in particular, which was Envy and then Ember. And Envy particularly surprised me because he's been able to push me lately. Like, he actually snagged 2 wins off me at two of my locals.
Who does Envy play?
So,
For people who don't know.
being able to snag... he's a tri-main between Marth, Joker, and Sephiroth, and he's pretty good with all three. His Sephiroth is what's able to handle me,
Gotcha.
but all three are very proficient.
My mate is impressive.
So does that about sum up your top 8 run then, Bri? Bri?
Yeah, no, I don't have much more to say. I'm overall really happy with how the event went, and I'm happy with how my run was. I think I played on point, and where I lost is just mainly where I need to just learn some more stuff to improve and just try to get better.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, I'm gonna self-indulge for a second. I'm gonna talk about my run really quick. Just my experience. If that's cool with you guys.
For sure.
So the 3-hour drive up to Traverse City was fine. I went up there with my sister because none of my friends wanted to go to the event with me. So I'm like, all right, sister, you're coming with me. You got no choice. And so we went there together.
Love that.
And then, yeah, pools was fine. I lost to Butterkicks and Springy Yell in pools in pretty expected O2 losses, and then I had to play against Ember, and Ember I just choked super hard because I 2-stocked him in game 1, and then game 2 I was up like 100% and like on the last stock. In my head I'm like, I already had thought that I won the game and won the set. And I just kept going with like the same kill option over and over again, and then I was just getting chipped down throughout the rest of the stock. And by the time I realized what I was doing, what was happening, I already died, and then I lost the game.
Yeah, it's too late. It's unfortunate.
And then game 3, I was just playing tilted, and then I got like low percent 1-stocked. So
Yeah, you can't get tilted against any of the Miis really. That's a recipe for disaster.
no, he played well in like, the last game, but I definitely shouldn't have. I shouldn't have been in that situation. It was just completely my fault though.
For sure.
And then I still made it into top 16 because I finished 4th in the pool. And then I had to play Frostbite in my round 1 of top 16. Took a game off him, close to 1. And then I dropped the losers. I beat Shunned Sage, who was a SDSU Kazuya player. Which, by the way, that was my third different Kazuya player I had to play against. I don't know what's up with North Michigan Kazuya players, but
That's crazy. How was that matchup?
I think Kazuya wins, but I think
yeah.
I think like Suspect also thinks Kazuya wins, and like the main thing is just like you can crouch dash freeze there and electric ZSS a lot.
Yikes, that's tough. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it like once you figure that part of the matchup out, it goes in the Kazuya's favor because Kazuya does outdamage and outscale ZSS throughout the game, even if ZSS does win neutral more often.
Yeah, just out consistency. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. And then my top 8 qualifier was against Bri, and then which was funnily enough the second time I ever played Bri and ever played you, Bri, and then you just beat me 2-0. It didn't feel particularly close. Like I maybe could have won, but it just wasn't. I just wasn't playing as good as you were. So overall, I was happy with how I played it. It was like the best I've played besides maybe the Florida tournament I went to a while ago.
Hell yeah.
What were you saying? No, you were playing really good. Like,
good. Oh, okay, that was it. Sorry.
Oh, what was that finesse? Sorry.
No,
I
you're
was
fine.
just saying. What were you seated at that event? Did you wind up outplacing your seed or no?
I was seeded to get 9th and I got 9th, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we take those. Yeah,
and then after bracket, I went out to an Asian buffet place with my sister, and that was pretty good. And then I slept on the ride home because I drove there. So I made my sister drive back. So.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
So overall, pretty fun event. I've been wanting to come up to one of your events, Bri, for a while because you've been traveled to down to a few of my events in the past and a bunch of other people's events. So I felt like it was past due for me to make the trip up there and kind of repay the favor, to so to speak. So overall, I think you ran a pretty good event. I was happy with how it went, and I'll try and make it back up there whenever you run something again. So
A Lylak seal of approval.
Yeah, I really appreciate you making me drive up. Yeah, no, it was really cool to have you come up. Everyone that came, it was really cool. Like anyone that's listening that attended the event, like I appreciate this support so much. Like, you know, I could have had only 10 people show up and I would have had a blast with that 10 people. Like it's just, I love hosting these events. I love seeing the scene improve, and it's just, I love it. I enjoy this. It's one thing that I really have a passion for, and it's amazing. So I thank you guys for the support so much.
Love that.
that's awesome. I love that.
Oh yeah.
And then one other run I wanted to like highlight really quick was just Butter Kicks because he's been on a tear lately of just like being really consistent at these North Michigan events. He got 2nd last week at CMPG 200, and then got 2nd here at North Strongest 3. And he's geared up for another event this weekend at Crimson Clash. So he's becoming like a real threat, like a substantial threat now in Michigan, in my opinion, because he beat
He's
all
really
the.
showing up to things, and all of a sudden he's like a really consistent threat. He's
Yeah.
just like, has he had just like a buster tournament where he shows up and doesn't do anything? I don't think so. I think it's just been consistent placement from him.
And it's not like he's just like getting 2nd at these like North Michigan events, but North Michigan events that just have like North Michigan players. He's beating like all the PR players that invade, all the PR players from like Mid Michigan that came over, because he's beating like Suspect and Springy L and
Solo Pop. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good run no matter where you're at. You know, that's impressive.
I don't know if he's gonna make PR because he just hasn't got any regionals like state PR.
Yeah.
But he's definitely just like a player that like if he goes to stuff, you gotta take him seriously. So
He's a threat for sure. He's a threat.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I think we've been misgendering them. I think they prefer she her. So my apologies on that. Better Kicks. So.
Yeah, I was waiting for a moment to interject, and also for Ember, I mentioned them back then. They them for Ember as well.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that.
We'll try to we'll be better about that. So yes, apologize to both those players. But in any case, Butterkicks, congrats on the 2nd place run. Glad you're doing well. Hope to see you at something, maybe Dime does. I know you're going to Walpurgis, so. But yeah.
I'm gonna fly her out to Diamond Dust or something. I don't know how far away it is, but like she's got to get out there. That could be a really good run for her.
And then last thing I just wanted to, I think we kind of covered like aquatics run, and then I didn't have anything else to talk about in terms of like individual runs or anything, unless you wanted to bring something up, Bri, or fiNESS.
I guess the only thing I would note is our biggest upset at the event, because we did have a level 4 upset by Jackson guy who took out Nightr in round robin pools 2-1.
That's
being seeded the 40th seed, ended up making 17th. So
nice.
Other than that, like I think the event was pretty well seeded. Most upsets were, either 1s or 2s. Most people got placements that was seeded to get. So overall, I'm really happy with how that turned out.
Nice.
Ooh, yeah.
Was that your third? How many like events have you done like this? Where like the somewhat bigger Saturday events?
So I've done 3 North Strongest now. And then I've also did my Forest Flash regional, which that one wasn't really big. We ended up only getting 17 people. It's kind of a, I was working, trying to get something potentially going in Gaylord, and it's just difficult to convince people to go there. But that was still a pretty fun time. Got the Northwood crew to come up. Some UP people came down, and actually got a couple people from Sault Ste. Marie, Canada area up there.
Cool.
Nice. So that was event number 4 then for you, Bri, if I'm not mistaken.
Event number 4 is the primary TO. I know I've helped with some bigger events with some previous TOs in the past that were in Northern Michigan, because as much as I've been doing stuff recently, a lot of the stuff that I've learned has come from previous TOs, like RSR2. I know I mentioned once already. He was one of the people that was helping with Rivals 2 and Soul Calibur, if you noticed. He's one of the main people that taught me everything I know. he was the main person for Smash 4 up here in the beginning of Ultimate until he moved away. So,
Nice.
and a lot of the stuff that I learned came directly from him.
Nice.
So
That's
I got to
awesome.
give him a majority of the thanks.
No, that's awesome that you're continuing on his legacy. That's really cool.
Yeah, shout out.
And then was North Strongest 3 your biggest event that you've done, or have you done something bigger? Because North Strongest 3 had about 44 people or something like that. I don't remember the exact amount, but
The biggest one actually with Technic. Do you guys remember Warblitz 2?
no. I'm sorry.
I do not.
It was a northern Michigan event. I know Ori would probably remember that because I know he was up at it. It was an event that I helped with. I wasn't the primary TO, but I was one of like the co-TOs that was. The event was really fun, but it was a bit of a hassle behind the scene to say the least. But it was really fun. Ended up being a big FBC Smash event, and we had some pretty good talent. So we had Dark Wizzy up for it, Daybreak, and a bunch of the older MISU scene was up. So
Okay, so we're
Oh,
talking
I remember
about
what you're talking about now. I finally clicked for me. Okay, that was like a while ago.
yeah, it's an older one. That's probably the biggest one I've done. But as a primary TO, I would say it's the North Strongest 2 for me. I think we have 47,
47.
48.
All right.
So
Next time we're gonna
Yeah,
get you over
47
that 50 barrier, Bri. I promise.
Oh yeah. You should do it in the summer. I might go.
around, yeah.
All right.
My goal, I actually already have the plans for the next one, and my goal is I want to try to make a Northern Michigan D tier, and I already have plans in the work to possibly make that happen.
Did you say a B
yeah.
tier?
So I hope everyone can stay tuned for that.
That's awesome. I'm
Oh, yeah,
looking forward to that. I'll
try that
definitely keep up with that for sure. All right, now we're gonna continue on with some more like North Michigan talk. Because North Michigan is one of the more under the radar scenes in Michigan, probably like the fifth subregion that comes to people's heads when they think about Michigan. We don't have much more perspective on how good North Michigan is compared to the other subregions. So I wanted to get your take on it, Brian. How good you think North Michigan is right now compared to the other subregions of Michigan, like West Michigan, Greater Lansing, Mid Michigan, and East Michigan.
All right, well, Northern Michigan is definitely underrated to a degree. I know for sure like the MSU crowd, some of the main, South opponents down in Detroit, those would be difficulties for most of Northern Michigan. But if we're talking about like some of the mid-Michigan regions like CMU, SVSU, and even, for example, down in Fenton, I took both Big Jess and Envy down to a last level once, and they both were able to place top 8, both getting 5th. So, and then there's also Ember, who has consistently gone to events, has won a couple events over in Ludington, has done well going to like Get Cook. I believe they got 33rd at a Get Cooked once.
Was that last
they
season?
come to
I feel like I remember
Rebel
seeing
and Roll.
that.
Yeah, they went to one of your events, Lylak.
Yeah, they were at Dissension.
I don't remember exactly what place. They got.
I don't remember either.
Ascension, gotcha.
I don't keep track of every person that goes to my service.
Overall, like there's. I get that. It'd be really difficult to keep track. But there's some good players up here, especially some that are just not able to travel and get out. One of the main ones that I've been wanting to see travel a little bit more is Jairam, a really good Diddy Kong player that primarily plays over at Ludington right now. And when I first went to one of the Ludington Limelats that Vonnegut hosted, I was pretty surprised by how good he is. Like, he is really tech savvy with Diddy Kong. Like, kind of like to a degree what Zenodo was. Like, he kind of gives me those Zenodo vibes. If he was just able to get out a little bit more, get that practice, he could be a serious threat in the scene, kind of like how Buttercakes and myself are from Northern Michigan. Like, he could actually take some names.
That's high.
Like, he has once. He went to he went to a Central Clash once, actually. He was actually able to be Springy out at that. So, he has proven it a little bit.
I feel like I remember like seeing that somewhere. Because the name does sound familiar. I think he's actually going to Crimson Clash again this weekend, so we'll see how he does. We'll preview Crimson Clash in a second. My take on North Michigan is that I still think, like in my head, that North Michigan is probably the weakest of the 5 core subregions of Michigan. I'm not trying to be like mean or anything. I just think that they currently don't have any state PR players. And Bry, you were the best player for a long time. Right now, I think Butterkicks has that title, but I do think that Butterkicks and could get PR. And Bry, you have had seasons where you could have been PR also. It's just like when I'm not as familiar with the depth as with North Michigan as you are, or Mid Michigan for that matter. But I'm pretty familiar with the depth of West, East, and Greater Lansing, and I think that the depth in every region of Michigan is comparable because at the end, the mid level is mid level regardless of the region.
Right.
So I do think that like for the most part, the mid levels would even out. There are some gatekeepers that reside in certain areas that would just like edge people out. But I do think that if you said if North Michigan traveled more, they could definitely like get some upsets or have some good runs.
Yeah, and I think
for sure. What you said, sorry, fiNESS. What I was saying is that I do 100% agree with you. Like I said, I do think the region is underrated, but when it comes to being better than these other regions, not there yet. But there's a lot of growth to be had, and considering where Northern Michigan was back in 2022, like I remember releasing our 5-man PR that I made just to have something to kind of say who Northern Michigan has, and it was it's like seeing that compared to now having standard 10-man PRs and having like some comparable, really solid talent on those PRs. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, the growth has been really cool to see. fiNESS, you had something to say too, right?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I don't think right now it would be a stretch at all to say that Butterkicks is a PR level player. I think just because it's hard to travel and attend a lot of events, it's hard for him to actually wind up getting that title. But I think to say that he's on the same level as the state PR players, I think right now is not a stretch, if not like an obvious statement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think Northern Michigan is proving that they have the ability to kind of breed a high level player. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100% agree with that. I do think that if Butterkicks lived in like East Michigan or something, he would be PR. I think he is that good. So she is that good. I'm so sorry. Well, sorry. I think that she would be PR 100% if she like lived in East Michigan or something. All right, that's about it for like.
I would 100% agree.
Yeah, that was about it for like the North Michigan. Well, not we have one more North Michigan thing. Brian wanted us to talk about the North Michigan Invitational. I'm going to bring that up on the podcast really quick. You can talk about like how this went, how this this event came to be and all that, Bri. But these are the current qualifiers: Bri, Butterkicks, Night Art, Jyrem, Von Gut, Ember, Envy, Aquatic, Rensuo, Izzy, and Shun to Sage, with more qualifiers at Crimson Clash, 6, Rift, whatever this event is, and then a question mark.
All right, so to give you a clarification on the event, you did recognize that Ludington Limelight's logo, so that's for 9-4 that's happening here in April.
Okay.
So that will be on the second Saturday of April. And then
my
the
bad,
question mark is actually, unfortunately, Springy L was originally going to be coming to the event as well, but the same weekend Level Up Expo's happening, and Spring L is going to be going to that event. So,
Gotcha.
Trying to figure out that one still, unfortunately, but yeah, that's why there's a question mark there.
Gotcha. And this invitation was based off a circuit, right? Of a bunch of different events.
Yes. So I started with inviting the top 6. That was for Northern Michigan's PR, and a few different Ludington Limelight, and then I had my special Bat Belt debate, which was Slay by Debate, which Envy ended up winning that one, so he ended up claiming a spot there. And then I had 2 spots at the North Strongest 3, which with Northwood going to Level Up Expo, that's why Aquatic and Renso ended up qualifying. Otherwise, it would have went to Frostbite and then Copal. And And then I hosted a vote-in phase that I did via Discord through a bunch of the Mid-Michigan Discords in Northern Michigan and the UP. And we ended up having Izzy and Shun Sage qualify through vote.
Dang, I love to see a circuit event. That's like such an exciting thing for me. Just those types of long-term things that give a lot of people a lot of chances. That's like one of the most exciting things that can happen in a scene like this.
I think the storylines that build up over a circuit too are really cool.
Yes,
Like, oh man,
absolutely.
X player can make it in because these players already qualified. So if you get X placing, you can definitely make it in, and it just becomes and all that stuff. And also,
Yeah.
the circuit is like a cool way to really just crown a champion. Like, it's just like a title at the end of the day, but just the build up to a finale, I think, is just a really cool aspect of the circuit. So very,
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to make those smaller tournaments much higher pressure. You know what I mean? Like if there's like circuit qualification or some type of points based thing to determine like a ranking level, it makes those smaller tournaments way more fun to pay attention to.
I 100% agree. Um, yeah, and then also I wanted to just highlight you, Bry, because I think that you're just such a great person and a great guy who's just been carrying North Michigan
yeah.
on his back for the past like 3 years, making North Michigan relevant. But not only were you the North Michigan's best player for a while, but you were also doing most of their relevant events and putting forward all the PR stuff, and making North Michigan a more cohesive and like scene overall, and taking it to like the next level, like a bit like a higher level of relevance than it probably ever was. So, I have a
Yeah,
lot
every
of respect for you,
subregion
Bry.
needs a
So.
Bry.
I appreciate the kind words, and I have to extend it back to my scene. If it wasn't for the awesome scene, everyone that supports me here with me going to the events as well as my tournaments that I host and everything, they make it all worth it.
Mhm.
It's all their support, and I wouldn't change it. I do.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
I love that. And then I think that was like the last like big North Michigan related thing that we wanted to talk about. Next up, we're gonna go talk about another invitational that happened over the weekend, which was the Legends Invitational 5. I didn't even know this was happening until like the day before, because Grayson does not advertise his events.
Yeah, right. I didn't hear about it until I checked Twitch and was watching Grands, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
It's like a massive event.
dude, I don't know how Grayson keeps getting away with having all these high profile events without telling anybody about
Right.
them, dude.
What keeps happening?
I don't fucking get it. But in any case, So Good Pop won, which was kind of a surprise because there was a lot of good talent in this tournament. But So Good
Yeah,
Pop
I
is
agree.
some bad guy, so congrats to him on the massive W, beating a lot of good players. I don't have his run pulled up right now. I probably should have had it pulled up, but
True fact.
I currently have it pulled up. In round robins, he was able to beat Damo, Dantilante, and then Boku. And then out of that, he was able to make the upset on Suspect and then Nad, which I know both of those players have been problems. But I do want to ask, I've noticed that Suspect has been pulling the Pyra Mithra out recently. I don't know what that's about. Like, I noticed that at CMPG 200, and I was like, okay.
he told me that he's getting bored with Corrin and he's just playing Mr. and Pyra again for reason for like just for vibes basically, because he used to play Mr. and Pyra as his main for like a little bit. If anybody remembers like the first post Michigan Arcadian post quarantine, that's what we used back then. Um, but like so like he's definitely like he can definitely just win with Mr. and Pyra, but it's definitely rusty for him. So I'm not surprised he's just getting upset by some players that he probably shouldn't usually be losing to.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
True.
You didn't say finesse? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say exactly what you said. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then apart from SGP winning, I had some notable stuff here. Judair actually went on a crazy run, getting third, which was great for us because we mentioned how good Judair was last week. So
Yeah. Right.
let's go. Good calls by
Yeah,
us.
it was one of those things where I hadn't really been tapped in on how good he had been doing, right? So I saw this tournament, I checked the bracket, and then just immediately hit the like the group chat that we had made. And I was like, Ian, I see the light. You were correct. This man made a run. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, no. So,
Yeah, no, he did really good.
yeah. Huge congrats to Jedi on the run. I think I think everyone that got top 6 or top 8 qualified for the final invitational, which I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's in the Discord if you guys want to look at it. Which I don't even remember when this is, but yeah, the people who qualified from the Open Legends bracket back in January were Suspect, Druish, Hawk, Fair, Ride Red Dice, Dillster, and Poison Jam. And then you had the Olympus qualifiers, Rob, Anna, J. Defoe, Arcty, Wolfie, Comet, and Ice Knight. And then you had the invitational qualifiers, So Good Pop, Boku, Judd Air, Nad79, Savon, Aster, Raymond, and Noodle Symphonies. And then you have 4 more LCQ spots at an LCQ event I'm probably not going to know about until the day before it happens. And then the 4 voting spots, which I don't know how that's going to be decided. So it looks like this is all leading up to a 32-person invitational, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. I want to try and campaign for a voting spot. That'd be really funny.
we need to get me, you, and Spectre in there.
Right. It's. I always think it's so doable for me to snag a voting spot at some invitational tournament. I think just like sending me to like a prestigious event and just like get dicked on for a weekend would just be it'd be so funny.
Yeah.
When I was doing the Cricket Invitational, it actually like wasn't as much of a wash as I thought it would be. Granted, my pool was 3 sorties, which made it a little bit rough, but like that was such a good time. I love going to invitationals and stuff.
Dude, they're pretty fun. I like invitationals a lot also, especially if it's with like people I'm closer to in the scene, and just hang out with them for like 6, 7, 8, 10 hours. That can be a lot of fun.
Right. Maybe I blackmail. Maybe I say I'm not commentating this event unless y'all vote me in. That's what I do. I think that's the way to make it happen.
That's funny. I like that idea.
We'll see.
Yeah, congrats to all the people who qualified at those previous 3 events, and good luck to everyone at the Invitational, which I don't even know what day it's going to be yet. So,
right.
Do you have anything to add about it, Bri? If not, we're just going to move on.
Nope. You guys pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
I like you guys mentioned, it kind of popped up for me too. I noticed it like a few days going to seed in my event that I was like, oh, I noticed that people were signing up for an event at MSU because Smash Maps. So.
Gotcha. And then moving on, I kind of lied and said we were done with North Michigan stuff because we got to talk about Crimson Clash 6 for really quick. The TO send me the seeding, so I'm going to just pull it up on the stream. You guys can see it in Discord.
Yeah, let's see it.
I'm going to go through the top 8 seeds really quick, and then we can just kind of deliberate for a second on the seeding and what we think is going to happen. So, number 1 seed, J. 2, Butterkicks, So Good Pop, Springy L, Savon, Ryoku, Adorable Light, and then Bri rounds at the top 8 seeding with some other notable players like Dux, Jyrem, Seeker 47, and Ember as top 12 seeds. So, I actually just think this is seeded pretty well. Like, I just think this is accurate. I don't really have any hot takes about it, unless you guys have anything to say about it, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. Just looking at it, the lineup makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it makes really good sense to me. I think everyone, especially the mid-Michigan, northern Michigan crowd, seeing the players like Skid, Tunes are really good players too. A good Pyre Methro with Skids, and Tunes is a decent Wii Fit as well. Mm-hmm. They could possibly make upsets in top 16, considering where they're at. Same with Get the Memo. Get the Memo has a pretty solid me brawler. It's pretty scary sometimes that thing just moves.
Gotcha. And they're
other than that, like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll continue.
You finished what you're gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say I can see all those players making some potential upset pass in the top 16, maybe even the top 12 with the right path.
For sure, Z's.
And then I think there were 2 invitational spots for the North Michigan circuit up for grabs here, so it'll be cool to see who gets those. As for like actual bracket predictions, I think that it's just gonna be a pretty cut and dry J win. I don't think that I think Savon probably has the best chance of beating him out of all these players because Savon's beaten him a couple times, but Savon has just been not doing that well lately, so I don't know if we'll make it to him, but
Yeah, I also think like generally the old guard of players does really well against Kirby. I don't even know why. I think they're just like more composed dealing with the like cheese that he has. You know what I mean? There's like there's two types of ultimate cheese. You know what I mean? And it's like Kirby definitely falls into the more like traditional like Smash Bros cheese. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So I feel like if you've been playing the game for a while, you can kind of work your way around that.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in Smash 4, Michigan had the best NA Kirby, which was Komoda. Um,
I did not know that. That's crazy.
yeah, and Komoda
Yeah,
played
I didn't know that either.
Kirby, and I think Savon and some of these other old guard players played against Komoda a good amount. So,
Yeah, yeah, I know
um,
that like Zanotto and a lot of like his friends and people that have like been around the scene forever are of the opinion that Kirby is just dog shit, like terrible character, absolutely irredeemable. I had a conversation with Zanotto at I think it might have been I don't know. It was some regional where we were at a Culver's and it was like me, Zanotto, and like a bunch of other people. And Zanotto was like, "He's not good. How does anyone let Jay win? Kirby's terrible." He was like going on a whole rant about how bad he thinks Kirby is. And I could definitely see
dude,
that like transferring to other players that are
imagine
around.
being Zenodo and like coming out of your hyperbolic chamber to go to Pantheon last year and seeing
Yeah.
fucking Ridley and Kirby seeded for top four. Like,
Yeah, dude. And he was just pissed off that people keep letting JJ get these high PR placements by winning out of state events because he's like, y'all gotta figure this guy out. It's not that hard. It's fucking Kirby. He was like, he's high, dude. It was funny.
that's so funny.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's funny.
I wish Nono came back, but I understand he's like a college professor. He's like 32 years old, but
He's a professor. I didn't know that. Studious motherfucker. That's awesome.
dude, that guy's smart.
Yeah, I was unaware. Wise ass no. Good for him.
um, but yeah, I don't have much to say about Crimson Clash. We're gonna be rooting for my West boys. Hope Savon takes home the W somehow. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
That'd be dope. I'm the biggest Savon fan ever, man. That guy's a cheater. I love him.
I love Savon. I've known the guy for like 8 years. I always wanted him to win, but he's got some ops at this tournament, man. But I don't think he's got to play against Falco and Butterkicks. He's been losing the spring EL. He can beat Silket Pup and JJ though. He beats both those players. Get him out. So we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
It's interesting that he's
Actually,
like the 1 and the 3 seed feel more doable for him than the 2 and the 4 seed. You know what I'm saying? It's like an interesting matchup spread.
Yeah.
And I was about to say, I'm really intrigued to see how Buttercakes does. One of the sad things is I'm hoping she's able to make it because I currently had an unexpected engine failure, and I was originally going to be the person taking her down.
Oh wait, so are you not going
I know we're
either?
trying. I found a ride with Ember, but Ember isn't able to go over towards Gaylord to get her like I was able to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I hope she's able to make it out. I want to see if she's
So
able
yeah,
to
I know.
step to JJ kind of. You know what I'm saying?
Has she played
No,
against
no,
JJ
it
yet?
just. Yes, she has. She was able to play against them at my Forest Flash regional.
Gotcha.
Which I think it was a 2-0 in Yeja's favor. So
That's not surprising.
I don't remember who she went. Actually, I'm kind of curious.
Well, if she went Falco in my head, like JJ plays dice a lot, so that just. Though I could definitely see
why
Ice
I'm
Climbers just
curious.
messing up Kirby. So
Yeah, Falco seems like not the best idea against JJ, just like because of that matchup experience. But also, JJ's one of those players that plays the game so much. I doubt he has a lot of big matchup blind spots, even Ice Climbers. You know what I'm saying?
you're so right. This guy goes to a tournament like every weekend. I don't know how this. I don't know. Like it's awesome seeing him on the grind, but
2 weekdays, 2 online tournaments. Like he's everywhere all the time. He lives and breathes this game.
dude, I still remember when JJ went to Cost, then went to he went to the Cost free local, then the Cost tournament was Saturday, then the West Michigan regional on Sunday, and then went to Movement Smash on Monday. Like how did he do that? That's 4 tournaments in a row on 4 different days.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I actually love that type of thing so much. I did like a similar-ish thing where we tried to make it to Movement after SmashCon, and we made it, and we just like put our suitcases in the back of Movement because we went straight there after the I think it was like a 10-hour drive or something like that.
Yeah.
I love that type of just 3 days straight. I am playing Smash Bros. And that's all I'm fucking doing. I think it's so fun. That's why I love invitational events and that style of thing is because you just play the game for 10 hours minimum. It's so fun.
I guess I don't have any more.
Agree.
I can't play the game three straight days in a row.
I totally
I just
can.
get burnt out.
I can, which is great because I suck. So it's like a good way to like improve. What's funny though is that I play my best Smash Bros at like 2 a.m. after playing for 8 hours. Like that is when I sit down and I play friendlies against like Cal, and I just like beat it. You know what I mean? It's so wacky to me.
When everyone is sleep deprived, that's when you strike.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm so dialed in. I'm so dialed in.
That's
That's
so
when
funny.
some of the best Smash has had.
Absolutely. The best, but also the most ridiculous. Everything happens below the stage. Everything happens in the magnifying glass. Nothing normal occurs the entire time. It's amazing.
All right. I think that about wraps that up. That's a funny way to end that. We're gonna get into some event promos now for upcoming Michigan stuff. Um,
Yeah, let these rip.
yeah. We'll go through. Yeah. I mean, I gotta pull it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So first off, I'm gonna start off with a new segment, which is gonna be weekly winners provided by Izzy. So yeah, just shout out to all the people who won tournaments this week. I'm not gonna go through all the names. You can just read them on stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're good. Okay, moving on. Crimson Clash 6 is this weekend. I don't even know if sign-up's still open. It seems like it is. It's got about 40 people there. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Go to it. There's also a West Michigan Invitational tomorrow called Worst Generation 2. There's not the only notable player there is Dufault, so no one's really going to care about it. But if anyone does care about it, it's going to be streamed on my channel tomorrow. And then you have Get Cooked 7 next weekend on March 29th. Has over 70 people currently registered. It's going to be the last regional of the winter season. So anyone that's looking to make a final push towards state PR season this season should probably go. On April 12th, we have Diamond Dust 2. Again, it's probably going to be a B tier at the very least. Michigan's biggest tournament of the year, most likely. So highly recommend going to it. Ray and those guys always put on really good events. And then you have Walpurgis, my event, on May 10th. We got some high-level town going here. It should be a pretty fun event. It's at a new venue, which is pretty spacious. So hope you guys are looking forward to it. And then we have also the Road to Cost, which is a pretty cool thing where if you win any of these tournaments on this graphic here, you get free registration and free ride to Cost, which includes tournaments like that already happened, like Almost Heaven and Overdrive, Shield Break Luigi in Ohio, Manchester Masters in Indiana, Diamond Dust 2, Ohio Ultimate Summit, Walpurgis, and Glass Garden on May 17th. And then one last announcement here is that we have a special announcement stream on Sunday at 3 p.m., which is a Cages and Lilac announcement stream featuring Deja and fiNESS as special guests. So if you want to know what the announcement is, tune into my stream at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Woo! All right, got through that.
Oh, people, an announcement, something new, something fun.
Yeah. All right, I hope everyone's looking forward to all this awesome upcoming Michigan things. So now we can get into meta/major conversations, which a big part of this weekend's meta had to do with just the copious amount of B tiers there were. There was 5 B tiers this weekend. I had notes on 4 of them. Very quickly, the one I didn't have any notes on was the Mexican B tier, that Waka one, because I just didn't have anything to say about it.
Waka. Let's go, Waka.
But yeah, congrats to Waka on that win.
Yeah, it looked like it went pretty much as expected with Waka winning it and such.
Yeah. He was the highest seeded player there, because like Spargo and Meister and Leia weren't there, so. But we're going to get into the first tournament, which I have like substantial things to talk about, which is CT GamerCon, which was a B tier in Connecticut, which had Zombo winning in pretty convincing fashion. I think he had to play Jackal in Grands, ? And he usually runs over Jackal.
Yeah.
But the big takeaway from this tournament was that Light got 9th, losing to Lucas and Tilde, and then he also made a rage tweet, which I couldn't find when I was trying to find it earlier. Basically, he was just saying that like Fox is a very volatile character, which gets exploited sometimes. And he just loses because of it to worse players that he thinks that he shouldn't be losing to. I was wondering what your guys' thoughts on this were. If you guys want to like give your 2 cents on it.
I think like my whole thing with that is that Fox is obviously a ridiculous character, like extremely good, but most of the things that make Fox so good do require a lot of like both like mental stamina and high focus with just like input levels. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say that like getting like Zaire comboed into a down air and getting 0 to death is really frustrating as a character that is about as high effort as you can be while still being that good. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I'm saying? And my favorite thing about Light has always been his like passion and his drive. Whenever he's doing good, he's talking his shit. He's getting excited. I do think he is like one of the like true shit talkers in Ultimate. I don't think Zamba's a true shit talker. I sense the manufactured nature of it whenever he's doing that, but Light really seems like he's about that shit when he's talking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that does come with losing and then being like, fuck this dickhead, you know what I mean? So I kind of have a lot of appreciation for that type of tweet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of feel where Light is coming from, because playing a lightweight, especially one as volatile as Fox, is very hard in Ultimate because you can just get blown up for like a bunch of random reasons. Fox has always been very susceptible to these kind of just very cheesy like combo strings that are only true on him because he's the fastest fast faller in the game. For anyone that watched Smash 4, I'm sure you guys have seen the clip of Bayonetta forward airing Fox 18 times into the blast zone, just killing him. Ryu up tilting Fox like 50 times into short year 30.
Sorry. Hold on, I haven't seen that. Is that 18 hits of fair or 18 forward airs completed?
It is fair 1-2 like 20 times into the blast zone. It's just true on Fox.
It was fun.
I love that. Fox deserved it. That's hilarious.
it was an exclusive Fox combo. There's
oh, good.
There's just a lot of stuff like that, and that's like that translates to Ultimate too. Just like a lot of combos only work on Fox because of his specific because of his specific physics, and the Zaire trains and the down air from Lucas is one of them.
Yeah, there's a variation of a nest zero that only works on Fox. I don't remember what it is, but it's one of the ones that like you never really see because it's super hard to do. But there's some multi-mag variant that only works on Fox.
And then also being a lightweight, I play VSS, so I kind of feel this a lot too. We're just being a lightweight, you just die to random shit so early. Like oh man, I got my caught jump in the corner by like a random backer, and I just died at 75. Like
yeah, or I had this up air wrong and I died off the top at 80. It's like, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, no, it's frustration, totally understandable. Like, like Steve, for example, just being able to do freaking jab all the way across, and Lucas just easily there train. It's understandable from the frustrations that come, losing the character specific matchup stuff.
Yeah,
I
think. Go ahead.
You don't get the positive, passionate, driven, good moments from Light without the I lost and I don't think it was fair. You know what I mean? So I think that type of thing is like not only fine but necessary for a player like Light to have the type of outlook and passion for the game as he does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Light's gonna bounce.
I think that
Light has that fire.
I 100% agree. Like you guys have said, I think Light is one of the best personalities in the scene right now, and
big time.
And he's very charismatic, and I just like his whole persona personally. So and like him getting upset on Twitter, I think is just like understandable. Like people just gotta like vent somewhere. So it is what it is. Because like I think we would all agree that Light is a better player than like Bubs and Tilde, but sometimes it just happens to you.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing a tweet around, like, sometimes, the better player just plays worse than, the other player, and sometimes the other way around, It's just the nature of the game. There has to always be a loser at the end of the day, someone that places lower, and sometimes it just ends up being you. And how you respond is the more important part than, the loss itself.
Yeah. I think Light will 100% be back. He's going to level up Expo in a couple weeks, so he'll probably do really good at that, so.
Yeah. True fact.
Apart from like Light surprising duck out at 9th, I don't have too much to say about this tournament. Like Jackal got 2nd, I think Tilde got 3rd. Cool seeing Tilde compete again. He doesn't go to stuff too often, so that's
shout out Tilde.
That's about all they have to say about him.
Likewise.
Moving on to, we have Kawaii Khan, which I only wrote this down because I wasn't originally going to talk about this, but then Aka Kikusu won on an English menu, which is very impressive.
Yeah, that was dope. Like, what was funny is that he won on the English menu and the grand finals was 2 Japanese players. It's like he's just nerfing himself for like no reason, but it's he still took the W.
I'm pretty sure T can read
uh,
English also, so I don't think it's like helping him out.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that it was really cool to see. It was interesting to see Akikusu do that.
Yeah.
I think the only like other like kind of notable thing is Big Stu getting fourth with an upset over Mr. E, which is not that bad.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I had never heard about these two.
I've heard of him before, and I think Mystery's a top 150 player, so that's definitely an impressive win.
Yeah, large Brock made a good run for sure.
Yeah, I also am curious to see if this Qui-Con thing was like an experiment for Akikusu to see if he can read the English menu overseas and he'll be traveling more often, or if like Qui-Con just happened to be like, oh, I just want to go to Qui-Con and be in Hawaii and just play Smash while I'm there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of just like random tournaments popping up with one absolutely elite Japanese player there. Like there was an event in Australia that Mia was going to. There was an event that Hurt was going to.
Yeah, in Texas.
Like in Texas, yeah, where it's it's funny to me that both Hurt and Mia are at tournaments out of region, but they're not together. They're both just like off on their own separate side missions. Apparently, Mia was trying to get a run back on a Sephiroth player that upset him, but also registered apparently. So like I don't really know what was going on.
I'm pretty sure that player's retired. It's from what I've heard. So
actually, I was hearing talks that is apparently registered, but he's not registered under his main tag. He has like a main tag that he's using. So I think he got under like missed. I've just heard that around, so don't take that as like fact. I just saw.
No, you saw it on Twitter. It's true.
Just kind of.
Yeah, anything you see on Twitter is true.
I know. You gotta take it as Bible, right?
Write it down. Etch it into stone immediately.
All right. But I just think that some of these Japanese players just like traveling for the level of the game, because like just to travel because if you to be honest, if I could travel just by being good off Smash, I would I would go to like Europe and Japan, all these places if I got offered to like flights and stuff there. So,
but also it's a thing of like if you're traveling anyways and. Like, very often for me, if I'm, like, on some vacation to northern Michigan, I'm like, I wonder if there's a local close to here. You know what I mean? And it's like the first thing I'm thinking about. So it could be that thing where it's just, like, you just want to go somewhere and also you enter an event while you're there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of this, too. When I went to Florida for my vacation earlier this year, I went to a Smash tournament. So, like...
Right.
But yeah.
You did pretty good at that too, didn't you?
I got fourth, out of like 20 people, so not bad. I also beat a player who won a D tier and got top 8 at a C tier. So like,
what the hell? Who was that?
Dogs 3.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Good for you. That's crazy.
Thank you. I hadn't heard of them before I played them, so I just looked at the results afterward.
You're a nobody. You're a bum. I don't know who you are.
But yeah, moving on to landmark number 5. Kaninabe won that. It was a pretty stacked V tier for what it was. He beat Yonapi, Shion, the hero, and some other like top 100 ranked players. It was just notable because Kaninabe's been struggling recently, and for him to like suddenly get this win is just really crazy. Like I like Kaninabe a lot, so.
Likewise, shout out Kaninabe.
Hopefully he's back. I think he's going to that Japan S tier this weekend. Hopefully he does well there. It's, by the way, just crazy that Japan is still having S tier without Mia, Akola, or Hurt in attendance.
Right.
That is actually insane, yes.
And then the last B tier to talk about was Eugene Bound, which was in PNW, which was won by Louis Money in a pretty dominant fashion. I think he only dropped one game in top 8. I don't know about the rest of his run. That tournament had like a lot of good talent, but they all got upset. Like I think only like 3 of the top 8 seeds were in top 8 or something like that.
Yeah, that's like not super common at tournaments of that size. You know, I feel like usually B tiers have like a super stacked like top 5 of like nationally ranked players, and then there's like a bit of a drop off to like really solid PR players. You know what I mean? So I'm surprised to see something like that at a B tier.
Yeah, and then just some notable runs. Andrik got 3rd. I love seeing Andrik do well. He's one.
Me too, dude.
He reminds me so much of Fatality. When I watch him play, because like he's not like the most technical Falcon, but he goes for some like wild plays. which
Just
are
dog flow plays.
yeah,
100%.
like he's going out there, man. That guy's a warrior.
Yeah. Yeah, he had one of my favorite ultimate sets ever against Big Boss, I
Oh, I
think.
know what you're talking about. That's
That set was phenomenal. Go watch that set right now if you haven't. Andre
that,
first Big
that
Boss. I don't remember what tournament it was at, but
it
that
might
set
have
was
been.
insane.
Was that wavelength? I can't remember, but that's what I know that's what was fire. Um,
Hmm.
and then Lemon, the Joker, the PNW Joker, got fourth in a really impressive run. I don't remember who he beat, but I just saw he got fourth. Um,
Wave Dash, by the way. I just checked. It was Wave Dash.
He was able to beat Sparkle, Big D, and JDV in the run. And
Alright.
Sparkle and JDV, he did that doing those in 3-0s.
Wow.
So he did a really solid job.
all right, yeah, pop off, Lemon. That's sick. I always like seeing
Right,
Joker
right.
do well. Like this tournament some like hype characters like Joker and Captain Falcon in top eight. That's good top eight.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And then our boy Jja was also at the tournament. He didn't do as well. I think he seemed to get 9th or 13th. He ended up getting 17th. Still a decent placement for what it is, but he was. I would have liked to see him do better personally. I was rooting for Jja.
Yeah. Bum ass placement, JJ. Do better.
He'll get his get back soon. Don't worry. He's gonna like get fourth for something a diamond dust.
Right, I'm gonna get my get back. He could make a crazy diamond dust run. That's true. I do think it's generally less likely for him to make like deep runs in like bigger Michigan brackets because there's more people that have the Kirby experience. And I do think like as much as he's been around and has proven that he can beat people that are good at the matchup, he does get a lot of his wins at these out of state tournaments from that matchup and experience.
Yeah.
But he's still obviously so capable of making a run at Diamond Dust. Like he could just come out and win that tournament if he like really plays out of his mind. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
especially lately where the top like 4 or 5 players in Michigan have really kind of figured him out. Like Rob and Anthony and Suspect especially
I love Robbie.
have been a lot of trouble for Jja lately. But like whenever Jja goes out of state, he just farms everybody. So.
He really does. He really does.
But yeah, overall, Eugene Bound was fun. Probably my favorite of like all these B tiers. I had the most fun watching it. I don't know about you guys. You guys have anything else to say about like the 5 B tiers that happened before we move on to our next thing?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, I just wanted to get those out of the way. So.
Mm.
All right. Next up is ITD Grand National preview. This is Peru's first ever C tier. But that's not the reason why we're highlighting it. The reason why we're highlighting it is because our boy ArcD is going to be there.
There you go.
Let's go ArcD. Looking forward to big things for you. I think Leon, the Bowser player, is going to be there. He'll probably be the 1 seed, I imagine.
Cool.
But a lot of the African players play like Bayonetta and Palutena and Mistra, so I don't know how well Leon's going to do. So.
Yeah, that sounds really tough. There's also a lot of good Palus in South America, so it's like that could be rough.
Yeah, so we'll
Shout out to Peru as a region though, getting that first C tier. That's like huge.
yeah, it's huge. I love that for
That's
them.
exciting to hear. Yeah.
And then the next thing up was Kulon 15 with Sumobato 15th anniversary seeding preview. This is the S tier that Japan's having this weekend. I'm gonna pull the seeding on stream really quick, so I put it in Discord so you guys can see it.
Let me see real quick.
The top 8 seeds: Waru, Doramigi, Ashimo, Snow, Akikusu, Rocky, Ken, and Tommy P. Daifuku, plus like 40 other notable players. I don't know. This is just one of those Japanese tournaments that just like any of these top 8 guys could just win. It's just so hard to predict.
That's very true.
Honestly, like any of the top 8, possibly even top 12. Like it's just Japan is just always volatile. It is just insane the amount of upsets and just. It's just unpredictable half the time.
It's crazy how deep Japan is. You know what I mean? Like I look at this seating right now and I see 64th Passeri man, and like who else? Hero, the Bowser players all the way down there at 58. You know what I mean? And that's like with my relatively limited knowledge of the region. There's just like so many solid players everywhere all the time.
Yeah, I think like in terms of like ranked players, I'm pretty sure everyone from YN up is ranked in the top 150. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that. But Japan is just super deep. Like this isn't like an especially top heavy like major because it only has like what is it, like eight or nine top 50 players, but they have
Yeah.
like 45 like top 150 players there, which is crazy. So
Yeah, just everywhere all the time. It's crazy.
um but yeah, I don't know. It's just like I would predict a winner, but I honestly don't know. I'm just gonna go on a limb and just call Doramigi winning because I just think he.
Tama P does it from the 8 seed. It happens.
I would like to see a Tama P win. I like watching them play. But yeah, Japan majors are always my favorite to watch. Like I'm a gremlin, like I said last week, and I always watch them. So I'm probably gonna be watching it over the weekend. So
For sure.
um,
For
and
sure. I'll probably
then
see in a little bit. I'll see.
And then the last thing here is just Kaguri's 13 update. So I gotta apologize to Syrup, who I slandered last week on the podcast, saying that he's not gonna be ranked top 5. He's not going anything. He clearly listened to me. He saw the clip. I imagine that's the only explanation that he's going now. So
100%. I'm so glad he's going. I'm so
me
glad
too.
he's
Me
going.
too. I have officially joined you and Spectre as part of the Syrup fan club because of this turnaround. So
Right.
once we convert ArcD over, the whole podcast will be Team Syrup. So
Only the Syrup fan club when he plays Ness against Cloud. I love watching that happen. I love Syrup. No, his team is dope too, but like, you know.
yeah, I just wanted to like highlight just Syrup's going now. The compendium for all those guys is out right now. Syrup and Zamba are the main players. Let me just go to like this thing that I pulled
Oh,
up.
Zamba's not confirmed going yet?
Zamba is going. Yeah,
Oh,
Chase, Skeleton, the Buds, Syrup, Big Boss, and Shag are on Fighters Pass 3 of the compendium. So I think it's like the last round of the compendium. And now I think we're like over 90 of the top 100, which is kind of insane. So
What an awesome tournament. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
it is
It's
so
insane.
awesome.
This is a one in a lifetime event for just
Yeah.
esports in general. Like you know,
Yeah.
where can you say that like multiple upon multiple top talents are in one place at the same time? And not only that, but like, you know, this is just for the love of the game, considering that, you know, Japan, you're not getting a prize pool here. So like this is just for the sweats and glory, and that's awesome. You know, it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And people always used to use the phrase like the Super Bowl of Smash when talking about like Evo or Genesis or whatever the biggest tournament at any given time was. You can't even call this the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl happens every year. This is like the the Olympics, maybe like the World Cup.
Yeah, this is the World Cup. This is the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Brian, we talked about Kaguribi a lot last week, so if you have like anything extended to say about it, you go for it, man, because we love Kaguribi here. So
Kaguribi is just, I've been looking at the people registering for it, taking a look at the seating, or potentially what the seating could be, seeing the players there, and I don't know. I really do not know with this event. Like, anything could just happen with the amount of talent that's there. Like I'm really excited to see the alt stats people try to get these players out, especially other people like there's this YouTuber I saw, Vars. He actually is getting Rivers and a couple other New Jersey players along with Jazo out to Kaguribi as well.
Oh, wow.
And that's
Hell yeah.
super awesome to see.
Hell yeah.
There's even more talent going out from other ways as well. It's like this event, you're never gonna see something like this again. I don't think especially with Ultimate in general, but it's just like a Smash period.
Yeah.
Like what other time are we gonna see something like this?
I don't know, but
This
I can't
is
wait
like-
to see which top 100 player gets like 513th or whatever that placement is. You know, I'm so excited to see like somebody's favorite player is not getting top 500 at this tournament. And
Yeah,
it's like so fun. That's so dope.
It's insane. Like, one of the things that I'm gonna be really intrigued to see is just like the top 8 is gonna determine so much of like the just year ranking in general. Like,
Yeah,
like
algorithm
if any of the top 5. Yeah, like any of the top 5, top 10, even top 15 potentially take this tournament, like right now in the running, could give them a good talking point for number 1, period. And anyone in the top 5 would possibly solidify number 1 for themselves,
Big time.
potentially.
yeah.
Like, it's like there's no event that's going to make a statement more than this. Like, Evo, you know, back in 2019 was the only talking point otherwise. Like,
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
100%. We talked about that a lot last week too, where the tournament's gonna break the algorithm. Like getting first is gonna mean it's gonna be worth more than double of winning Genesis. It's gonna be like getting seventh here is gonna be the equivalent of like winning an S tier. Like getting 17th is gonna be the equivalent of winning an A tier at the very least. People are gonna be getting 33rd with like 3 top 100 wins. Like it's gonna be.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I'm
insane.
excited to see the like pop offs for like 25th place. You know what I mean? Like this is gonna be a very high emotions tournament. I feel.
Yeah, and then I think like another like sneaky thing about this is that because all these people are going to Kaguribi for a week, there's probably gonna be at least one more Japanese tournament that is gonna be super stacked. Also,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be
Yeah,
Delta
like
this
a-
year because Delta
mhm.
is scheduled at a different time. But something I'm pretty sure something else will pop up.
It's gonna
So
be like a single day event on Thursday that winds up being a P tier. Like,
I think there already is a tournament that's having some people show up. I think I saw Jackal or someone make a comment about it being their last tournament before they come back. So I don't remember the name of the event, but I just remember seeing a tweet.
I know some people are staying for the Kuon anniversary event after like the week after Kaguribi. So
That might be what it is.
yeah.
that's nanners.
And then the other thing I had to say about Kaguribi was that they raised the cap for the overseas players, so that's cool to see because we're trying to get everyone out there. So
Yeah, 1 million.
Everyone is here.
yeah,
That's true.
and then
This is
yeah, just super cool overall. It's like you guys been saying, it's a once in a generation type event we're talking about here. Like this is by
Yeah.
far the most important, biggest event in the history of Smash, maybe the history of fighting games just in general. Like
yeah.
it's
This could
crazy.
be the biggest
so.
Smash tournament that like ever happens. You know what I mean? I like struggle to call it the most important. You know what I mean? Because I think it's at a time where it's like, Smash right now as a community and as the competitive medium is going to be fine. We don't need to like be saved. You know what I mean? So I feel like you could say you would argue that there was more important tournaments in like dead eras where like an Apex showed up or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's like definitely the biggest and the most like ranking impactful. You know what I'm saying? So if that's your definition of important, then yeah, it's definitely this.
Sorry, that's probably a poor choice of word in that one, but
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah. Anyway, we're all looking forward to it. Kaguribi 13 is going to be amazing, as Kaguribi usually is. Hopefully, they raise these just a standard cap also, because it caps at like 2,000 something every year. It'd be cool to see them raise it to like I don't know 3,000, but that might be asking too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all we had to say about Kaguribi. Unless you guys had anything else you wanted to bring up really quick.
That's about it.
Yeah,
All right.
that's about it for me.
Yeah,
too.
that's going to conclude all our talking points this week. Sorry that some of the bits discussed everyone, but between Arc the Inspector being at like out of town and sick respectively, and just like like there's just some stuff that happened like for all of us personally this week that we're all just kind of
Yeah.
dealing with. So, but nonetheless, we were able to get this podcast out this week. We'll be back next Thursday. I'm 90% sure. Our game sector will probably be there. But thank you to our special guest Bri for joining us this week. Had a lot of fun talking to you about North Michigan and all these tournaments that have been happening. Best of luck to you and your continued endeavors as the leader of North Michigan. Do you have any like last
I
second
appreciate
shout outs
it.
you want
Thank
to
you
say?
for having me on.
Do you have any like last second shout outs?
Again, thank you. Yep, sorry. Again, thank you, Northern Michigan, for all your support, coming out to my events and helping me. I really appreciate it. Anyone that's listening right now, and I appreciate just the support from Michigan Smash in general. Like all the traveling I do, I love seeing the scene. I love seeing everyone get better at the game and being able to face the talent that's in this scene. Like Michigan is a tough scene, and it's incredible to be able to face the talent that is in the state. It is such a dense pool of players, and it's always a pleasure to come hang out and have fun time. So again, thank you too for having me on the podcast tonight and allowing me to talk about my scene a little bit.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
It was good having
it
you.
was great having you, man. Finesse, do you have anything before we sign off?
That was about it. I was talking to Brad beforehand, and I think this is like the first time we've had a conversation, like, period.
Really?
We've been to the same events a lot of the time. Yeah, but I don't think we've ever like actually had a developed conversation. So it was nice like meeting you,
Yeah,
Loki. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like I think half the time, like you're usually casting and I'm out playing, and then I'm usually going when your cat's in like top 8 or top 12, whatever. So
Yeah, right. Or I'm just hanging out with like East people or whatever. We just like haven't really crossed paths.
yeah,
You know.
All right. Well,
yeah, no, really fun night.
For sure, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching the podcast. This video is going to be uploaded to my YouTube after the live is over. And again, we're going to be back next Thursday at 9 p.m. Hopefully with our usual roster. In any case, I've been Lylak. This has been those are fiNESS and Bry. I'm going to link their social medias in the YouTube description. So go follow them. Go follow me. Go follow my Twitch. All that. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next episode.